Capricorn, listen carefully, because what I'm about to say isn't random, and it's not coincidence that you found this video. Have you noticed lately that certain numbers keep appearing around you? On your phone, receipts, even when you wake up in the middle of the night, it's always the same pattern. Maybe it's 111 or 444, or that strange repetition that makes you pause for a second and wonder if the universe is trying to tell you something. Stop scrolling for a moment, take a deep breath, and stay here with me, because if you're truly a Capricorn, this message has found you at the exact moment your life is about to change. The numbers you've been seeing aren't just random digits, they're divine coordinates, pointing you straight toward your breakthrough this October. And before we go deeper, make sure you've subscribed, because I'm not here to entertain you, I'm here to wake up the millionaire that's already inside of you. If you've ever felt overlooked, misunderstood, or like you work harder than everyone else, but still feel like something keeps delaying your reward, this message is your sign that the delay is over. You see, Capricorn, there's a mysterious pattern happening in your life that you've never fully paid attention to. Every time you were close to giving up, a number showed up. Maybe you noticed it, maybe you didn't, but it was there. And the reason it keeps showing up is because your energy and the frequency of the universe are in conversation. You may not hear the voice, but you feel the pull. You may not understand the message, but your intuition whispers that something is shifting. This October, those whispers are turning into divine confirmations. Let me tell you a story. A woman named Melissa from New York, a Capricorn to her core, went through one of the hardest seasons of her life. She lost her job, her marriage ended, and she was drowning in debt. One day, she noticed the number 888 on almost everything: her grocery total, her train ticket, even a random text she received from an old contact. It was so strange she Googled, "What does 888 mean?" and stumbled upon the meaning: infinite abundance, completion of cycles, divine prosperity. She laughed it off at first, but then she started designing handmade jewelry again, something she loved but had abandoned years ago. She launched her website on August 8th, the 8th day of the 8th month, not realizing she was aligning with her code. Within 6 months, her brand was featured in a fashion magazine, and she received a grant worth exactly $8,000. Coincidence? Or divine timing? Capricorn, you're a builder. You don't chase miracles, you construct them brick by brick, through patience and persistence. But the universe doesn't ignore discipline, it rewards it in coded language. Those numbers that keep finding you are the receipts of your unseen effort. Think about it. Why else would you see 1111 just when you're about to make a big decision? Why else would 444 appear when you're doubting if you're on the right path? These numbers are heaven's way of saying, don't give up now, you're almost there. Even in ancient texts, numbers were never meaningless. The Bible itself is full of hidden numeric codes: 7 days of creation, 40 days of testing, 12 tribes of Israel 3 days before resurrection. Every miracle, every victory was wrapped in divine mathematics. King Solomon, the wisest and wealthiest man who ever lived, understood this. He didn't just ask God for wisdom, he asked for the ability to discern order, to see patterns others couldn't. That's what's happening to you right now, Capricorn. You're starting to see order in your own chaos. But here, where it gets more interesting. You see, there's a historical pattern linking Capricorns to wealth cycles. In ancient Babylon, astrologers believed that Saturn, your ruling planet, controlled time, karma, and wealth accumulation. Unlike other signs that received sudden luck, Capricorn's prosperity was always earned through a series of numeric alignments: the right time, the right move, the right repetition. That's why you sometimes feel like blessings take longer to reach you. You're not cursed, you're being measured. Saturn teaches you to align with divine timing, not instant gratification. And when that timing finally matches your vibration, everything you've been praying for comes all at once. Take a closer look at your own life. How many times have you come close to success, only for something to delay it, then later realize the delay protected you from a bigger mistake? That's the work of your ruling energy. It doesn't rush you, it refines you. So when the numbers appear this month, whether 8, 11, 4, or 9, understand that they're not predictions. They're confirmations that you're walking through the exact timeline meant for your prosperity. There's something prophetic about Capricorn energy in October. This is the month where the universe demands your attention. October carries the vibration of harvest, the moment where everything planted through effort and patience begins to reveal fruit. But here's the secret: not everyone harvests at the same time. The soil of your patience has been watered by your tears, your prayers, and your quiet determination. You may not realize it, but your breakthroughs are already assigned dates and numbers. That's why you keep feeling the pull towards specific times, specific days, specific moments. Think of Jim Carrey. Before fame, he wrote himself a check for $10 million and dated it years into the future. He carried it in his wallet every day until the exact amount manifested for his first major film deal. That was not luck, that was numeric alignment in motion. He didn't just hope, he set a numeric intention, backed it with belief, and matched the vibration through work. Capricorn, you have that same spiritual architecture. You think in timelines, goals, and plans. That's your superpower. But when divine numbers enter your reality, it means your plan is now synchronized with God's plan. And this is where many people miss their miracle. They ignore the numeric signs because they don't understand them. But if you pay attention, those signs become instructions. 1111 tells you to decide boldly. 222 reminds you to trust divine timing. 444 is your reminder that the foundation is stable, even if it doesn't look like it yet. And 888, that's the divine multiplier, the number of Saturn's reward cycle. When you see it, prepare for returns greater than you expected. But here's something most people won't tell you: these numbers don't appear randomly. They show up when your frequency is elevated, when you've silently passed the test of endurance. You've endured rejections, false starts, long nights, and unseen effort, and the universe has taken note. October is your confirmation season, not your testing season. You've already done the work. Now the signs are pointing you toward the door. Another story: a man named David from Lagos, also a Capricorn, lost his job right after his company downsized. He had savings, but not enough to feel secure. Around that time, he kept noticing 1111 on his clock every day, exactly when he'd be overthinking his next move. He thought it was just coincidence until one night, after seeing it again, he decided to start a small delivery business. He launched it on October 11th, not because he planned it that way, but because the date felt right. Fast forward 1 year later, that same small business had grown enough to hire 7 people, and he made more in 1 month than he did at his old job. That's the power of listening when numbers speak. Capricorn, this month, the numbers 8, 11, 4, and 9 will hold enormous significance for you. The number 8 represents infinity and prosperity. 11 is the awakening, the gate between physical and spiritual manifestation. 4 is the foundation, the stability you've worked so long to build. And 9, that's the number of completion, the sign that one cycle of financial struggle is closing so a new one can begin. These aren't angelic fairy tales, they're energetic frequencies. Every time you notice these numbers, take a mental note. What are you thinking? What are you feeling? What opportunity is nearby? That awareness will unlock your code. Even in the Bible, the greatest victories were numeric. Joseph interpreted Pharaoh's dream of 7 years of plenty followed by 7 years of famine, and that interpretation saved nations. It wasn't luck, it was discernment of divine timing. Just like Joseph, your financial wisdom isn't about working harder, it's about seeing the pattern before others do. That's why people don't always understand you, Capricorn. They think you're overanalyzing, but what you're really doing is reading the pattern that others ignore. Think of Oprah Winfrey. She's spoken openly about divine timing and alignment. She once said, "Luck is preparation meeting opportunity." That's exactly how the Capricorn energy operates. You prepare quietly while others are distracted, and when the universe opens the gate, you step through with certainty. October is that gate, but the real test isn't seeing the numbers, it's acting on them. Because sometimes the universe whispers through numbers, and sometimes it tests your faith through them. You might see 444 and still face challenges. You might see 1111 and still feel unsure. That's because the numbers aren't magic, they're mirrors. They reflect your energy back to you. When you trust the message, the mirror shifts. That's when you begin to attract what you've been preparing for all along. There's one more real-life story I need to tell you before the truth fully unfolds. A Capricorn artist named Maya lived in Los Angeles, struggling for years to sell her work. Every rejection made her doubt her gift. Then she began seeing 999 everywhere. Even her art supplies would ring up to $99.09. She didn't understand at first, but one night she felt an urge to paint something different, a piece she titled Completion. 2 months later, that same painting sold for $9,000 to a collector who had seen it by accident. That sale changed her life. 999 was never about loss. It was a sign that her old chapter had ended and her purpose was being reborn. Capricorn, you're about to enter your completion to creation phase. All the waiting, all the pruning, all the disappointment, it wasn't punishment, it was calibration. You were being tuned to the frequency of abundance. The reason your blessings took long was because your spirit needed to mature enough to sustain them. You can't manage what your character isn't ready to hold. That's why some opportunities disappeared, not because you failed, but because the timing wasn't sacred yet. Now it is. Let me tell you a secret Nikola Tesla once shared. If you only knew the magnificence of 3, 6, and 9, you would have the key to the universe. Those aren't random numbers, they're energetic sequences of creation. When you align your intentions with divine numbers, when you write goals, make affirmations, or take action guided by these vibrations, the universe multiplies your results. For Capricorn, this isn't theory, it's your natural language. You build structures, systems, and success through repetition and precision, the same energy that governs numeric manifestation. That's why starting this October, every time you see 8, 0, 8, 11, 11, or 444, don't just smile at the coincidence. Pause and speak abundance aloud. Say, I am ready to receive. These simple words are not empty, they're magnetic. Energy responds to declaration. Heaven responds to alignment. And money, Capricorn, responds to vibration. Think about Rihanna. Before becoming a billionaire, she often spoke about trusting the signs before launching Fenty. She saw patterns, she moved with intuition, she acted on alignment. That's the same energy Saturn is calling you into alignment before action. This October, everything you say, every number you notice, and every decision you make will either open or close the gates of your next financial cycle. Now I need you to do something for yourself, not for me. If this message resonates with your spirit, don't just listen. Comment below the number you've been seeing most often. It's not about engagement, it's about confirmation. When you declare it publicly, you shift from observer to participant. And if you haven't subscribed yet, do it now, because each message that follows will decode deeper parts of your destiny. You don't want to miss the guidance that could position you for your breakthrough. You've spent years working, grinding, sacrificing, and staying silent while others seem to rise faster. But your time wasn't wasted, it was being measured. Capricorn, you are entering a divine numeric window where every effort you've ever given will be multiplied. These numbers 8, 11, 4, and 9 are not warnings, they are keys. Each time they appear, they unlock a new level of awareness, clarity, and opportunity. But here's the part that will make your heart race. When all 4 begin appearing within the same week, something major is aligning in your financial path. You'll feel it, you'll sense it, and the doors will start unlocking one after another. This is why some people will call it luck, but deep down you'll know it's alignment. The numbers will find you when your energy matches your purpose. And when they do, Capricorn, remember this, wealth doesn't chase you because you're lucky. It comes to you because you've become the vibration of wisdom, patience, and divine timing. Now think carefully, what if every delay, every closed door, every time you saw 444 and doubted yourself was never a warning, but a countdown? What if all those numbers weren't random messages from the universe, but exact markers of the moment your destiny started rearranging itself behind the scenes? The question isn't whether the numbers work. The question is, are you ready to listen when they call your name? Capricorn, sometimes the universe doesn't speak with thunder or lightning, it speaks in numbers. You've probably felt it lately, haven't you? The same repeating patterns showing up everywhere, from your phone battery percentage to receipts, from random timestamps to the digits on the back of a bill. They follow you quietly, but persistently, as if the universe is whispering something only you were meant to hear. Stop and breathe, because if you're watching this, it's not a coincidence, it's confirmation. You're here because destiny wanted you to understand what's been happening around you. Those numbers are not accidents, they are messages. Divine codes trying to align your path with a door that is about to open this October. If you've ever felt unseen while giving your all, if you've been patient but still waiting for life to finally say, yes, this message is your sign. Subscribe right now and stay until the end, because what you're about to hear might change how you look at everything, your money, your timing, your purpose, even your struggles. You see, the story of your life isn't being written randomly. Capricorn energy has always been tied to divine order, discipline, and cycles of timing. You're not the sign of chaos, you're the sign of structure. Every time you worked in silence, every time you sacrificed comfort for growth, you were obeying the invisible mathematics of destiny. The universe didn't forget your labor, it just measures you differently. That's why your blessings come slower but stay longer. That's why your success doesn't crash after one lucky break. It builds like a mountain, one rock at a time. Think of King Solomon, the wealthiest man in biblical history. He didn't become rich through greed or inheritance. He became rich through divine understanding. The Bible says God granted him wisdom, but what was that wisdom really? It was pattern recognition. Solomon knew when to act, when to pause, when to give, and when to receive. He knew the language of numbers and timing. That's why his wealth flowed endlessly, not from luck, but from alignment. You, Capricorn, share that same divine pattern. You're being guided by numbers because the universe is trying to synchronize your steps. Do you remember the woman I mentioned before, Melissa, from New York? The one who saw 888 everywhere? Her story didn't stop there. After her jewelry line started gaining attention, she began receiving orders from customers whose names and dates matched the same numbers she kept seeing. One buyer had an address ending in 888. Another placed an order at exactly 8:08 p.m. Each order came with blessings, as if the numbers themselves were her silent investors. Eventually, she looked back and realized that the numbers appeared every time she doubted herself. They were reminders to stay aligned with her purpose, not her fear. Capricorn, you've probably been noticing 8, 11, 4, or 9 lately. You might think it's random, but it's not. 8 is the number of abundance. It looks like infinity because it symbolizes endless flow. 11 is the number of awakening, the bridge between the seen and unseen. 4 represents your ruling planet Saturn, the structure of foundation and discipline. And 9 means completion, the end of struggle, the closing of a financial cycle. When you start seeing these numbers often, it's not about luck, it's about readiness. You're being told, it's time to receive what your patience has earned. Even in history, people who aligned with numbers found divine success. Ancient Babylonian astrologers believed every financial era was ruled by planetary cycles. Saturn, your ruler, was seen as the keeper of time and wealth, slow to move, but powerful in result. They believed those born under Saturn's influence, like you, were destined for long-term wealth, not temporary riches. Your success is measured not by speed, but by endurance. And that's why you've been through what you've been through, not to punish you, but to prepare you. I know this might sound strange, but you can almost feel when something is about to change. It's like a quiet pressure in your chest, a calm certainty that doesn't make sense yet. That's your spirit aligning with your numbers. When 1111 appears, it's not coincidence. It's the moment heaven pauses to ask, are you ready? When 444 appears, it's not repetition. It's confirmation the foundation is stable. When 888 appears, your reward is already in motion. You just haven't reached the destination yet. Let me tell you another story, this time about a Capricorn man named Raymond who lived in London. He worked at a bank for years but never felt fulfilled. He wanted to start his own financial consulting firm, but fear always stopped him. Then one morning while walking to work, he saw a billboard that read, "Trust the timing, 1111." It seemed like nothing, but he saw it again later that day, the exact same number on a receipt. That night, he couldn't sleep. He kept thinking about the number. The next day, his supervisor informed him that his department would be downsized within 6 months. Most people panicked, but Raymond remembered the sign. He began saving aggressively, researching business strategies, and by the time his job ended, he already had a registered company. He opened it officially on November 11th, 1111. In less than a year, he became one of the most trusted consultants in his district. He said later that the numbers didn't predict his future, they prepared him for it. Capricorn, you've been through delays, detours, and moments that almost made you give up. But those weren't roadblocks, they were checkpoints. The universe doesn't test you to see you fail, it tests to see if you've learned your vibration. And the moment your vibration matches your purpose, your reward activates. Every rejection was an alignment process. Every disappointment was pruning. Every time you saw the number 9, something old was quietly being completed in your spirit. You were being prepared for a wealth that won't just change your bank account, It'll change your legacy. Let's go deeper into something few people ever realize. Numbers are not just mathematical symbols, they are frequencies. Just like music notes, they carry energy. When you keep seeing certain ones, it means your frequency has shifted close enough to receive that message. For example, when you repeatedly see 444, your spiritual foundation is being reinforced. When you see 808, the cycle of give and receive is activating. When 11 finds you, your spirit is being aligned with divine timing. Do you know why your sign, Capricorn, is ruled by Saturn, the planet of structure and time? Because wealth doesn't come from magic. It comes from timing. And those who master timing, master destiny. That's why this October is not just another month for you. It's a numeric season where Saturn's energy and your personal vibration align to manifest everything you've silently worked for. You might even start noticing that your ideas flow easily, or that money you thought you lost finds its way back to you. There's a reason the most disciplined people in history often had a strange connection to timing. Look at Steve Harvey. He talks about how tithing, giving 10%, transformed his financial life. That's divine mathematics at work. He trusted the principle of multiplication, even when it didn't make sense. Just like Solomon, he understood that wealth isn't just about effort. It's about alignment with divine numbers. You see, numbers are not physical currency, they're energetic language. When you honor them, they multiply. And now, Capricorn, the universe is asking you to listen closely. When you see 8, don't dismiss it, take action. Send that email, launch that project, make that investment. When you see 11, trust your intuition, it's the green light from the divine. When you see 4, stay consistent, don't change direction. When you see 9, release what no longer serves you. These numbers are not predictions, they're instructions coded into your destiny. There's one more story you need to hear before this message reveals its core truth. It's about a Capricorn woman named Naomi who lived in Ghana. She had been trying to open a small bakery for years, but was always met with obstacles. Her bank loans were denied, suppliers cancelled at the last minute, and every step forward came with 2 steps back. One night, feeling completely defeated, she looked up at her clock. It was 4:44 a.m. She whispered a prayer, asking God to show her a sign that she should keep going. The next morning, she received a call from a relative she hadn't spoken to in years, offering to invest in her business. The amount he sent, 44,400 Ghanaian cedis. Within 3 months, her bakery opened and quickly became a local favorite. She told everyone later, "Every time I saw 444, I thought it was just a coincidence. Now I know it was God reminding me not to quit right before my blessing." Capricorn, when you think about it, haven't you also been receiving reminders like that? Every time you felt like giving up, something small gave you strength to keep going, a number, a word, a dream, a conversation. That wasn't random. It was the numeric rhythm of your destiny keeping you in tune. The same way an instrument must be tuned before it creates music. Your life was being tuned to the right frequency before it could produce wealth. October will test your awareness. These numbers will appear not to comfort you, but to instruct you. The number 8 will appear when opportunities are opening. 11 will show up when intuition must lead logic. 4 will confirm your foundation. 9 will close a cycle, preparing you for something greater. These numbers are not angelic fantasies, they are timestamps of your destiny's calendar. Even Tesla, one of the most brilliant minds in history, said that the key to the universe lies in the numbers 3, 6, and 9. Those aren't random digits, they are vibrational codes of creation. And what's even more mysterious is that Capricorn energy resonates closely with those frequencies because of your ruler, Saturn. Saturn governs order, cycles, and repetition, the very essence of numeric power. So when these numbers find you, they're not trying to impress you, they're trying to awaken you, to remind you that your life is not off course, it's perfectly timed. Everything delayed was meant to arrive in this window. October isn't a test, it's a doorway, but doors don't open for the unprepared. That's why your years of hardship were necessary, they trained your hands to handle blessings without breaking. Capricorn, you need to engage with this message fully. If this is resonating deep in your chest, comment below the number that's been following you most often, not just to share, but to claim it. Because the moment you acknowledge it publicly, you activate its power consciously. Subscribe to this channel now and keep your notifications on, because what's coming next will guide you step by step into decoding your personal money frequency. You've carried the burden of patience long enough. Now the universe is carrying your reward. Every time you see 8, imagine the infinity symbol, your abundance looping back to you. When you see 11, imagine 2 doors standing open. When you see 4, see the foundation of the house you're building. When you see 9, breathe and release. You're not losing, you're making space. Your life has been an equation slowly solving itself, and the moment the final number aligns, it'll all make sense. The struggles, the timing, the silence, they were all part of your pattern. Capricorn, the numbers haven't been following you randomly, you've been leading them without realizing it. And soon, when October's energy fully opens, you'll understand why the numbers never stopped calling your name. Capricorn, something unusual is aligning for you right now. And before we go deeper, take a moment, breathe, center yourself. And if what I'm about to say already begins to stir something in your chest, then this message is for you. I want you to pause and do one simple thing: subscribe, like this video, and comment your name below. Because energy flows through connection, and when you engage, you open the gateway for what's already written in your destiny to reach you faster. You are not watching by accident, you were led here. The numbers I'm about to speak of, the moments I'll describe, they've been chasing you in silence, waiting for you to notice. And this is the moment they finally catch up. Have you noticed lately how certain numbers seem to repeat around you? Maybe it's 8, 28 glowing on your phone, maybe 777 on a receipt, or 1111 flashing like a whisper from the divine. You brush it off, thinking it's coincidence, but Capricorn, it's not. You've been aligned with frequencies that few can decode. These are not random. They're signals, coordinates, energetic passwords unlocking the season of overflow you've been unknowingly preparing for. Because Capricorn, October is not just another month, it's the one that redefines your entire decade. You've spent so long climbing invisible mountains, working harder than anyone, holding pain behind your quiet strength. You've watched others celebrate while you sacrificed. You've smiled through storms no one saw. And just when you thought it was too late, the universe began rearranging everything for your rise. You might feel unstable right now, plans delayed, emotions scattered, but that's only because the structure of your old reality can't contain the abundance about to pour in. You are being stripped to be rebuilt. And these numbers, 3, 7, 8, and 11, they aren't just digits, they are frequencies. Each carries a code tied to your destiny. 3 is creation, mind, body, spirit. 7 is divine perfection, the number that aligns you with higher wisdom. 8 is infinite wealth, the cycle of giving and receiving. And 11, the master number of intuition and awakening. Together, they form the exact vibration that makes millionaires rise when others fall. When these numbers align, they don't just bring money, they bring mastery. Let me tell you a story. Years ago, there was a man named Chris Gardner, yes, the one whose life inspired the pursuit of happiness. He had nothing, no home, no safety, not even a bed for his child. Yet he kept seeing the number 8 in places that made no sense: bus stops, receipts, even random graffiti. To him, it was meaningless until a stranger told him, 8 is the number of balance. If you want abundance, keep walking until your outer chaos becomes inner calm. That single sentence became the seed of transformation. Within 2 years, Chris was no longer homeless. Within 5, he was a millionaire. It wasn't luck, it was alignment. Capricorn, something similar is happening to you. Every challenge you've faced this year, every loss, delay, betrayal, it was designed to create the version of you capable of handling what's about to come. The reason your blessings were delayed is because the old you couldn't hold them. The universe wasn't saying no, it was saying not yet. You were being recalibrated for wealth, not comfort, for leadership, not survival. And I can feel some of you watching this thinking, but I've worked so hard, why hasn't it come yet? The answer lies in your emotional frequency. You've been carrying unspoken heaviness, energy leaks through doubt, fear, and memories of betrayal, yet you're still standing. That's not weakness, that's proof that your spirit is iron, and iron attracts magnetism when heated. The fire you're walking through isn't punishment, it's preparation. Remember the story of Joseph in the Bible, sold by his brothers, imprisoned for lies he didn't commit, yet when famine struck the land, Joseph became the channel of wealth and provision. He didn't just receive abundance, he became abundance. His pain positioned him. Capricorn, you are in that stage right now. You are being positioned by divine intelligence for what's about to multiply in your life. And if you've seen 1111 lately, that's confirmation. It's a whisper that the universe is opening the path for divine partnership, not just romantically, but in business, in purpose, in destiny. Someone is about to walk into your life and unlock doors you didn't even know existed. You won't have to chase it, it'll find you because it's already tied to your energetic signature. That's why this month, the more you align with gratitude and clarity, the faster your breakthrough finds you. Let's go deeper. Do you remember Nikola Tesla's obsession with the numbers 3, 6, and 9? He once said, "If you only knew the magnificence of 3, 6, and 9, you would have the key to the universe." He wasn't just talking about mathematics, he was speaking of vibration. Tesla believed numbers were frequencies, and when aligned, they could bend reality. Capricorn, your alignment this October is no accident. The numbers following you, the patterns repeating, are forming the code of your next level. There's something divine happening in your finances. You've been noticing small shifts, unexpected refunds, old clients reaching out, random gifts, new ideas that suddenly feel magnetic. That's the first wave. The universe always tests the vessel before pouring abundance into it. It wants to know if you can stay faithful in small beginnings, if you can be grateful even when doors are half open. Because once you pass this test, everything accelerates. Let's bring it home with something real. Oprah Winfrey, she's a Capricorn too. When she lost her first big TV job, everyone said she wasn't fit for television. That rejection was the redirection that birthed the Oprah Winfrey Show, a billion-dollar empire of purpose. Oprah later revealed she used to write numbers 11, 11 and 8, 8, 8 on her vision board. She didn't understand why, but she said it made her feel aligned. Years later, she learned that 8 represents infinite wealth and 11 represents divine manifestation. The numbers she wrote in faith became the symbols of her empire. That's not coincidence, that's coded destiny. And if you're watching this, I want you to understand something powerful. Your name is already being whispered in rooms you haven't walked into. There are people planning to bless you, contracts being prepared, invitations forming, opportunities aligning, but they're all waiting for one signal: your readiness. And that readiness begins when you stop doubting yourself. Some of you have been waking up around 3:33 a.m. That's the Trinity number: mind, body, spirit aligning to receive instruction. You felt restless, like something's calling your attention, but you can't explain why. That's your higher self trying to speak. You're being guided to prepare, to make space, to forgive who you must forgive, to release what no longer serves your future. Because October is not just another month. It's the month where God rewrites your financial DNA. I'll tell you another story. There was a woman named Sarah, a single mother who kept seeing 444 everywhere: car plates, bills, receipts. She looked it up and learned it means stability and angelic protection. So she began writing 444 with her daily affirmations. My finances are stable, my home is protected. Within months, her struggling business turned profitable. Within a year, she paid off all her debt. She later said, "It wasn't the number that changed my life. It was my belief that I was meant to be guided." Capricorn, that's your message. Belief activates the number. But let's pause here. Have you ever noticed that when you begin to expect good things, strange distractions appear? Someone from the past calls, an unexpected bill arrives, your emotions feel heavy for no reason. That's resistance. It's the universe's way of asking, do you still believe when nothing looks like the promise? The moment you answer yes, everything shifts. Because manifestation doesn't come through sight. It comes through vibration. Capricorn, I see something rare in you. You don't just dream, you endure. You carry a royal kind of patience that few understand. People mistake your silence for indifference, but in truth, you're observing, calculating, aligning. That's your power. And that's why these numbers are chasing you, because the universe recognizes a soul that doesn't waste lessons. Every failure you've ever faced, every heartbreak, every sleepless night, all of it has been quietly adding up to this one divine equation of abundance. And right now, those numbers 3, 7, 8, and 11 are activating in your life. When you start seeing them in clusters, pay attention. That's the universe's confirmation. Write them down, meditate on them, keep them close. They're not random digits. They're your reminders that the divine plan is still unfolding, even when you can't see it. I know you might not fully understand how it's all happening, the shifts, the patterns, the coincidences that aren't coincidences, but you don't need to know how. You only need to trust that the universe has never been confused about you. You're stepping into a timeline where every delay was secretly divine protection. Every no was just making room for a bigger yes. Every closed door was hiding a room filled with gold. And as you listen right now, your frequency is changing. You might feel chills, warmth, or that sudden urge to smile or cry. That's your spirit recognizing truth. That's energy awakening. You are aligning with numbers that don't just promise wealth, they guarantee transformation. You were not created to live small. You were created to manifest, to lead, to multiply what others only dream about. If you're still here listening, then this message has found its rightful owner. Don't scroll, don't doubt, your confirmation is here. These numbers are not just appearing for beauty, they are your divine bank codes. They're unlocking spiritual vaults, and October is your month to receive what has been held in waiting. Before you move, I want you to do this. Like this video if you feel even one sentence resonated with your spirit. Subscribe so this energy stays connected to you, because your engagement keeps you in the current of divine timing. The universe responds to motion. Every action you take is a vibration. Let your action today be faith, not fear. Because something in the unseen realm has already shifted. The wheel has turned in your favor. October is no longer a prediction, it's confirmation. The numbers have already been written, and your name is carved beside them. And even as you hear my voice now, you can feel it, something ancient, something magnetic, something unstoppable. The same energy that lifted Joseph from prison to palace, that turned rejection into empire for opera, that carried Chris Gardner from homelessness to legacy. It's the same energy swirling around your name right now, waiting for your agreement. Capricorn, wealth is not coming to you, it's already circling you. Listen closely, because the signs are already appearing. The numbers are speaking, and soon the world will too. Capricorn, the air around you feels charged, doesn't it? It's as if something invisible has been quietly moving pieces behind the scenes, pulling you toward a moment you can't yet see but can already feel. Before we dive into what's unfolding, I want you to pause right here. Breathe. If this message is resonating deep in your spirit, like I'm describing the very season of your life, then you're not here by coincidence. Do one thing for your future self. Like this video, subscribe and comment your name below. Because when you take that simple action, you're not just engaging with this channel, you're aligning your vibration with a frequency of divine wealth and purpose. Every click you make here sends a signal to the universe that you are ready to receive. You're stepping into your millionaire timeline, and this is where the alignment becomes undeniable. You felt it, haven't you? That sense of something about to break open. It's been building for months. Quiet signs, repeated numbers, strange dreams, déjà vu moments that make you stop and wonder if time is looping. The truth is, Capricorn, it is. The energies you've been putting out, your patience, your sacrifices, your late nights of faith, they've circled back around. And October has become the month of divine repayment. The spiritual ledger is being balanced. You are being rewarded for the things no one saw you do, for the prayers you whispered when your heart was breaking, for the moments you showed love when you were the one who needed it most. There's a sacred pattern that runs through your story, one that mirrors the lives of legends, people who carried both pain and purpose. Do you remember King David? Before he wore the crown, he was just a shepherd boy, overlooked and underestimated. Everyone saw a boy, but God saw a ruler. When he faced Goliath, he wasn't equipped with armor or title, but with precision, courage, and divine favor. That's you, Capricorn, underestimated by many, but divinely anointed for greatness. And right now, your Goliath, that giant of delay, lack, and fear, is about to fall. You've been battling silently, haven't you? Holding your ground when it would have been easier to walk away. People saw your calm and thought you didn't care, but inside, your soul was screaming for something more. You didn't quit because something inside you knew the story wasn't over. You knew there was meaning to the waiting. You could feel it, even in your lowest moments, that you were being shaped for something extraordinary. That quiet resilience you carry, that's your superpower. It's what separates you from everyone else. But here's what the universe is revealing now. Your patience wasn't punishment, it was positioning. Every delay, every rejection, every closed door, they weren't setbacks, they were calibrations. You were being prepared for the exact frequency of abundance you can now sustain. You see, wealth doesn't just come to those who desire it, it comes to those who are aligned with it. And Capricorn, your alignment is now perfect. Let me share something powerful, the real-life story of Jim Carrey. Before he became one of the highest-paid actors in the world, he was broke, living in his car, rejected from every casting call. One night, he sat under the stars and wrote himself a check for $10 million for acting services rendered, dated 5 years into the future. He carried that check every day, even when life didn't make sense. 5 years later, he got his first major role in Dumb and Dumber and his paycheck. $10 million, the same number. That wasn't coincidence. That was manifestation through unwavering belief. You see, Capricorn, Jim wasn't special, he was consistent. And that's what you've been, even when no one noticed. That same frequency lives inside you. You may not have written a physical check, but you've been carrying invisible ones in your spirit, dreams, ideas, visions that won't leave you alone. You've imagined them so vividly they feel like memories from your future. That's not imagination, that's premonition. Your spirit is remembering what's already been written. Something miraculous happens when your faith finally matches your preparation. Doors open faster, people appear unexpectedly, opportunities multiply like dominoes. But before that miracle appears in the physical, it first confirms itself in numbers. The signs you've been seeing, 8, 0, 8, 11, 11, 777, they're more than coincidences. They're divine timestamps, marking your progress toward breakthrough. 808 means infinite abundance and balance. 11 means awakening and alignment. 777 means divine completion. You are literally watching the universe count down your blessings. There's a reason the richest people on Earth, from Elon Musk to Oprah Winfrey, all talk about vibration, numbers, and alignment. Oprah once said, "You don't get what you want, you get what you believe." She understood the universal law of frequency, the same law that's working in your life now. What you've been believing in, even when no one else could see it, is about to appear in full color. Let's make it even clearer. Think of Thomas Edison. He failed over 1,000 times before perfecting the light bulb. But when he was asked about his failures, he said, "I didn't fail. I just found 1,000 ways that didn't work." Capricorn, your failures were data. Every setback you faced was gathering information to help you win. Every heartbreak taught you discernment. Every loss taught you value. You've been mastering the formula of your own light, and now that formula is complete. But the twist, the climax, is that your abundance won't come through traditional means. You've been trained to believe money comes through struggle, work, or opportunity, but what's unfolding for you is divine orchestration. Wealth will appear through unexpected paths, a connection that seems random, an idea that suddenly clicks, a message like this one that activates something dormant in your spirit. Because Capricorn, your wealth is not coming to you, it's coming through you. You are the conduit. I want you to hear this next part carefully because it's prophetic. You are about to receive 3 divine signals before your life changes completely. The first will come as a number, either 3, 33, 8, 0, 8, or 11, 11, appearing 3 times in 1 week. The second will come as a stranger's kindness, a moment that reminds you that the world is conspiring in your favor. And the third will come as an inner knowing, an unexplainable peace, as if the waiting is over. When these 3 happen, it's not random. It's confirmation that your manifestation has already been dispatched. And here's the mystery: you've been chosen for this revelation because of your integrity. You didn't cheat, you didn't take shortcuts, and you didn't compromise your soul for survival. That's why your blessings took longer, because they had to be built to last. Quick success fades fast, but divine wealth endures. The universe trusts you with resources because it knows you'll use them to build, heal, and inspire. Let's anchor this with another story, the biblical account of Solomon. When God asked him what he wanted most, Solomon didn't ask for riches or power, he asked for wisdom. And because of that, God gave him both wisdom and unimaginable wealth. Solomon became the richest man of his time, not because he chased money, but because he sought alignment. Capricorn, that's your mirror. The universe saw your heart, your humility, your quiet wisdom, and decided that wealth in your hands will create balance, not chaos. Now listen, your calling is not small. You are meant to be a system breaker, a generational restorer. The financial blessing coming your way isn't just for luxury, it's for legacy. You are meant to rewrite your family's story, to be the one who ends cycles of lack, fear, and limitation. You are meant to be the blueprint others follow. That's why you felt alone, pioneers always do. But loneliness was never punishment. It was insulation while your frequency recalibrated. Have you noticed how you've started craving peace more than attention, how material things don't impress you as much as purpose does. That's the sign of transformation. You're no longer chasing validation, you're preparing for fulfillment. The universe had to remove distractions so you could focus on what truly matters, your purpose, your alignment, your wealth. Because when wealth meets purpose, miracles multiply. Now let me share the third story, and it's one few know deeply. Before Tyler Perry became a billionaire, he was homeless, sleeping in his car while writing plays no one would come to watch. For 6 years, every production failed, but he refused to quit. One day, after another disappointment, he said, "God, if this is truly my calling, show me a sign." Days later, a theater owner called him back and offered to perform one last time. That night, the audience was packed. People cried, laughed, and stood in applause. That one performance launched his empire. From car seats to studios, from despair to destiny. He later said, "I had to learn that delay doesn't mean denial." Capricorn, that's your story too. Your life's play is about to open, and every empty seat will be filled. But here, where it becomes supernatural, those numbers you've been seeing, they're not just signs, they're coordinates. When you see 808, you're being reminded of divine timing. When you see 717, it's a call to stay centered. When 1111 appears, it's a gateway, the universe asking, "Are you ready to step through?" And when you see 333, it's your ancestors, your guides, and divine forces whispering that they've gone before you to prepare the path. Capricorn, if you could see what's already written in your future, you'd cry out of gratitude, because it's bigger than your imagination, greater than your preparation. The numbers are just the beginning. Soon, physical manifestations will follow, a phone call, a message, an opportunity that seems too perfect to be chance. When that happens, remember this message. Remember that you were told before it happened. You might be watching this with doubt creeping in, wondering if it's really possible for you, but that doubt is the last test. The universe always asks one question before the breakthrough. Do you believe it can happen for you? And the moment your answer becomes yes, everything rearranges. Because faith isn't just a feeling, it's a frequency that calls your future home. Capricorn, you are the architect of miracles. You've carried pain like a map, and now it's guiding you toward purpose. You've carried patience like armor, and now it's your crown. The world is about to see what silence built. The numbers are confirming it, the energy is supporting it, and divine timing is sealing it. So as you listen to my voice now, take this as your final confirmation. You are not waiting for blessings. They are waiting for you to step into recognition. You've been praying for open doors, but the truth is, the door is already open. You just need to walk through. And when you do, the world will call it luck. But you'll know it was destiny, written in numbers, sealed in faith, and revealed in perfect timing. Capricorn, your millionaire season has already begun. You're about to see proof in the days ahead, signs that will make you stop and whisper, "This was it." The numbers will glow, the path will clear, and everything that once confused you will suddenly make sense. The universe has been waiting for you to believe, and now that you do, there's no turning back. Because the story isn't ending here, it's only beginning.